Peter. I'd like to talk a little bit about China.
Sure.
And I guess the white elephant in the room is coronavirus. Obviously, you're not an infectious disease expert, but it does have geopolitical impact.
Absolutely.
Tell us about China and the coronavirus and what you see. How does this push China toward inevitable end, or is this a stopgap? Can they recover? Talk about China.
Let's start with the inevitable end. It might not be coronavirus that gets us there, but it is coming. One-child policy means that China cannot ever be self-sustaining in terms of consumption. It has to export. The American Security Guarantee is what allows China to import energy, which comes out to about 80% of its total energy take. Over-financing on the Enron models allows the Chinese domestic system to function, gives everybody a job, but it means in sectors like agriculture, they use 5 times the inputs that you would in a place like the United States. So if anything happens to the security situation globally, the security situation regionally, the financial system at home, or economic growth in general, this whole system just melts down fast. So anyone who is linked to China in a supply chain relationship, coronavirus, honestly, is the best thing that's ever happened to you, because you now get to experience where the weaknesses in your system are. If you're having problems today, you know you need to prepare for the end of China because it's coming. And if you're fine today, that means you're about to experience an explosive competitive advantage over your competitors. Now, there are lots of countries that have gone lots of different directions with this. On the positive side, I would argue of the major companies on the planet, Samsung is the one that is doing the best right now. They got burned by the Chinese a few years ago, and so they made the dedicated decision in order to diversify their supply chains out of China, close down everything. They're not quite done, but they've gone from something like 80% dependence to 5% dependence, and they're doing pretty good. On the flip side, is Apple. As everyone has been looking at China the last 2 years and started to move away a little bit, Apple's done the opposite and just sunk everything in there. So, if this keeps going, I hope you're happy with your iPhone, because you're not going to get another one for another year or two. We're now in a situation where the Yangtze Valley and the Pearl River Delta, which are the richest, most technologically advanced, most industrialized, most internationally linked parts of China, have now been offline for 6 weeks. And probably will continue to be offline until the middle of April. The Chinese are not even reporting good statistics anymore from coronavirus. We just don't know how bad it is. We only know that they're planning on keeping these places closed off for quite a bit more time. But the tech centers, the automotive centers, and the computing centers in China are all in these 2 zones. At a minimum, is going to experience a technical recession this year. Forget 6% growth. Now, whether the Chinese can survive that politically, we'll see. It's hard to predict what the bullet is that is going to kill the Chinese system when they're facing down so many rifles right now.
Interesting. So, what does a collapsed Chinese system look like?
Oh, Chinese history is replete with many, many, many examples of many, many, many paths about how this can all go to hell very, very, very fast. If I had to bet, and it's just an educated guess, the city-states of the south from Shanghai to Hong Kong become de facto independent city-states. The northern Chinese core, or the North China Plain, centered on Beijing roughly, drops into kind of a neo-Maoist tyranny that tries to hive itself off from the world. And the Japanese start looking at it and thinking, I wonder if we can make another go of this.